Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast. This is another Asian movie collection addendum video. I got some mostly Blu-rays with some DVDs mixed in here. Got a nice little batch from Hong Kong, a nice little batch from Japan, and just a few titles from South Korea. So some pretty good additions here. Some of these releases were fairly recent, and some of them are actually a little bit older. So let's just get cracking here. Let's get rolling. Let's start with some of the Hong Kong type stuff here first. So we got the Eureka release of Warriors 2 and the Prodigal Son. Yes, and this is a Region B Blu-ray set. These are two classics. We got Warriors 2. We have Sammo Hung and Casanova Wong play two students of Master Lung San, who must use their skills to defend their town against an evil businessman and his gang of killers. It's been actually quite a while since I've seen Warriors 2, but I remember enjoying it quite a bit. I think I saw it one time, like back in the day. For Warriors 2, we got the Hong Kong theatrical version. We have the international export version. We have both the Cantonese and English dubbed audio. Brand new feature-length audio commentary by Asian film expert Frank Zhang. And martial artist actor Robert Samuels. A brand new feature-length audio commentary by Mike Leader and Arnie Venema. And then the making of Warriors 2, some still galleries and other stuff. So this is a pretty stacked release for the Warriors 2 side of things. I should probably rewatch it and give my thoughts on it whenever I get the chance. We got a little poster here, I think, as well. I'm not going to flip the entire thing open, but it's just a little snippet of the poster for you. So yes, some of these releases have been quite good. Now, all right, we have the Prodigal Son. All right, so Lung Sang is a younger man, played by Yun Bu. Lazy and spoilt, he believes himself to be a great kung fu master, not realizing that his father has been bribing his opponents to intentionally lose. After being humbled in a real fight, he decides to become a real Wing Chun master. And the special features for Prodigal Son are, we got the Cantonese and English dubs again. We got a feature-length audio commentary by Frank Zhang and the martial artist Robert Samuels. A brand new feature-length commentary by Mike Leader and Arnie Venema. All right. Archival interviews with Sammo Hung, Yun Bu, and Frankie Chan, and some other stuff as well. So, yes. I have recently watched Prodigal Son, and I did a fairly long discussion of that film with That Phat Samurai Guy on his channel. So that was last year, I think. So I'll include a link in the description box below if you want to, you want everyone's thoughts. That was one of the versus videos that we did, where we got like a bunch of people that collaborated and talked about martial arts films. And I'll include a link to that discussion for you. You're going to learn a lot in those because some of the other people know a lot more than I do about this stuff. So it's good discussion. I highly recommend it. So yeah, this is a good release. It's good stuff. Yeah, Eureka could come through, man. They're very good label if you're interested in Asian cinema. Let me get this back in here. So this might be a little difficult. Alright, I'll put this down here. Alright, next, we have Project A and Project A2. Alright, these are the Jackie Chan flicks. This is Eureka. And again, this is Region B. Alright, so make sure your player can play it before you purchase it. So we get a pair of incredible action-adventure extravaganzas. In Project A, Jackie plays Sergeant Dragon Ma, a turn-of-the-century Coast Guard hot on the trail of a ruthless band of cutthroat pirates, intent on spreading a trail of blood and mayhem across the South China Seas. So yeah, Project A is one that, again, I watched last year, again. I think it's probably only the second time I'd seen it. And it's I think it's one of his best films overall. Some of the stunt work is just insane. Some of the fights are really good. It's a lot of fun. It's just a really fun movie. Now, Project A Part 2, I have not seen probably since the last time I saw Warriors 2. It's been that long. We're talking like 10 plus years ago. But I remember it being good, but not as good as Project A. But I need to rewatch it to see if my perspective changes. So Project A2, after the events of the first film, Dragon Ma is given a new assignment to clean up crime and corruption in the roughest part of town. The pressure was on to top the first film in terms of sheer spectacle. But Project A2 rises to the challenge. All right, well, I will be the judge of that. Thank you very much. Yeah, so, and again, Project A, if you want a really good discussion on that film, I'll include a link to the Versus episode I did with That Phat Samurai Guy and a bunch of other people. Again, highly recommend that discussion. I do not have individual reviews of some of these films on my channel because I rewatched them specifically to have those discussions. So special features, we have new restorations, that types of thing. We get Cantonese and English tracks, the export cut of Project A2, an introduction by Jackie Chan, interviews with Asian cinema expert Tony Raines, bunch of interviews in here. Just everything says interview. And alternate outtakes, deleted scenes, and trailers. So, yeah, this is good stuff. Another good release here by Eureka. And now we got another one from back in the day that's also very good. Looks like another Region B release, unfortunately. But if you have an all-region player or a separate Region B player, you'll be fine. And this is one from 88 Films. And this is Dragons Forever. Dragons Forever. Blu-ray Region B. Man, it's a lot of descriptions here. Okay, so the three brothers are back after Project A and Wheels on Meals. The most popular action stars in Hong Kong, Sammo Hung, Yun Bu, and Jackie Chan, joined forces again for another uproarious adventure. This time, the heroic trio are facing down a crooked industrialist and an organized crime syndicate that are bringing drugs into Hong Kong. Can they stop it? Well, obviously. The special features here include brand new restorations. You get the Cantonese and the English dubs, audio commentary with Mike Leader and Arnie Venema. There's interviews with Benny the Jet Urquidez. It's just loaded. There's so many special features here, it would take me an hour to read them. Outtakes and everything. There's a new restoration of the full Cyclone Z cut of the film, which is 98 minutes long, 4 minutes longer than the other cut. I'm not even sure what the differences are in those cuts, but it includes extra scenes and another ending with outtakes. So, yeah, so very nice. Another really solid release of an old school classic. This one I remember, again, I rewatched this, and guess where you could find a discussion of this film? On That Phat Samurai Guy's channel. I'll include a link in the description for that discussion as well. It was another Versus discussion where everybody was in there. And, yeah, so if you want my thoughts, check out that video. But this is really, really fine film, my friends. Some of the fights in this are some of the best of Jackie Chan's career. We have another fantastic old school classic. And this one is from Eureka. We're back to Eureka. Duel to the Death. And this one I do have a review of on my channel. Another Region B release. So if you want my thoughts on this, check out my review on my channel. So every 10 years, a duel is held between the finest Japanese and Chinese martial artists to determine whose swordsmanship is superior. During the Ming Dynasty, as the next duel approaches, the chosen candidates are caught in the middle of a battle between ninjas and Shaolin monks. Only a duel to the death will settle the country's conflicts. Yes. So yeah, this movie has some of the coolest ninja scenes you're going to see in a film. The ninja in this movie are legit. They're legit, my friends. And The director is Ching Su-tung, who did the Chinese Ghost Story films and some other stuff. And this is one of his best movies here. Special Blu-ray, you get new restorations, Cantonese and English dub available. Feature-length audio commentary with Frank Zheng. Oh, and by the way, Frank Zheng, the guy who does the commentaries on a lot of these, was in our Versus discussions. So it's another reason. If you like him on these, he did a bunch of collaborations with Samurai Guy and me and other people. So that's another reason to watch those discussions. They're good. Interviews, special feature, you know, this is just loaded. Just loaded, people. So yes, and this is a film from the early 80s, by the way. So, yes, the Duel to the Death is pretty fantastic. Here's the inside artwork. Indeed. Now, I don't think we talked about this in our Versus discussions. I just have this on my channel, so that's why. But again, if you're a fan of Frank Zheng's commentaries, check out our discussions. All right. The Iceman Cometh. Yes, this is a Blu-ray release from Hong Kong. A lot of the Blu-ray releases I get from Hong Kong are like the Fortune Star or Panorama Corporation releases. They release a lot of stuff over there. At least most of the Blu-rays I get and DVDs I get from Hong Kong, from like DDD House or Yes Asia, will be released by them. I think they're like technically the label. This movie's fun. Iceman Cometh, another old school action flick, and it's basically, this is kind of a convoluted plot synopsis. Check out my review on my channel. You basically get Yun Bu versus Yun Hua with Maggie Chung in the middle, and they're these ancient warriors who have a conflict. They find their way like hundreds of years into the future, into like present day Hong Kong during the 80s, to resume their conflict. It's basically like Demolition Man. And Demolition Man came after this, so I don't know. Yeah, so if you like stuff like that, it's pretty cool. You can check out my review for some additional thoughts on the Iceman Cometh. This is way better than the Donnie Yen Iceman films, by the way. So you could just skip those, and just, if you want an Iceman film from Hong Kong, check out the Iceman Cometh. Not many special features, though. That's kind of one of the downsides of buying the Hong Kong releases, is that they do have English subtitles, which is very nice. It looks like it has a 16-minute bonus feature, but this is all in Chinese, so I can't read what that is. Oh, it says it right here. Interview with Yun Bu and a few deleted scenes. So I'm not even sure if the interview is subtitled in English or not. But all right. We get a really good one, contemporary 2000s film. And that is Isabella. Directed by Ho-cheung Pang. And I have a review of this on my channel, of course. This is one of my favorite films of the 2000s. This is really good. And this one stars Chapman To and Isabella Long. And on the eve of Macau's handover to China, police officer Xing is having the worst time of his life. Suspended for suspected corruption, he tries to find solace with an elfin creature. She's not an elfin creature. She's a girl. Nice description. In the name of Yan, played by Isabella Long, whom he tries to pick up for a date. And things play out not quite like you might expect. But this is like more of like an art house drama, and it's fantastic. I think this movie's awesome. And got a Blu-ray release, which, Beyond Our Ken, I don't think got a Blu-ray release. I need that film to get a Blu-ray. Another Ho-cheung Pang film that's pretty fantastic. And again, this is a Media Arts, or Media Asia release. It's got commentaries, but I don't think they got English subs for those. I don't think. And some other special features like trailer, making of, deleted scenes, and an interview. So I really should try to check out the special features on this just to see if there's any English subs for any of them. I would assume not. But, yeah, this is nice. Very good movie. I highly recommend. Very nicely shot, too. And finally, this is a Taiwanese release. All right. Actually, it's a German release, I think. This is the German media book release of a Taiwanese movie, if I'm getting that right. And that's The Sadness. Yes, The Sadness. I have a review of this on my channel. It's really violent horror film from recent years. It has a lot of similarities to... A lot of people say zombie films, and I think I mentioned that in my review, but it actually has more similarities to stuff like Nightmare City from Italy, or The Crazies is another film that this kind of is more similar to than, like, technically zombies. So, you know, if you get people... Something makes people go completely crazy. Their physical appearance changes. They look like demons. Yeah, it's another Italian film this kind of reminds me of is Demons from 1985. And then they just kill people just like all kinds of disgusting, nasty ways. But it's entertaining. If you like violent horror, I mean, you'd need to watch it. And I have a review of it, of course. Check that out. But this is a nice release here. Very nice release. Not a whole lot of... Man, what are there any special features in this? I got it right here. It's in German. Bosartig, nihilistisch und schonungslos blutig. Yeah, exactly. Uncut, it says. So, indeed. I can't tell you really what a lot of special features are. I got it for the movie, folks. And this was before I knew it was getting a digital release on Shudder, but I actually probably would have bought this anyways. I'm not sure. I assume somebody's got to put this out in the U.S. for like a Region A release. And this German release, I think, is Region A as well. So I get confused because I don't buy that many German physical media. So if I get into the info wrong, please forgive me. But I recommend The Sadness, folks. All right, let's do a few of the Korean titles next. I only got 2, but they're pretty solid. And then we'll move on to Japan. I meant for this to be a little bit of a shorter pickups video, but I blabber a lot. I reviewed this on my channel. You know, a lot of the stuff I pick up, I review on my channel or do a collab with someone else. I don't leave you hanging very often. Although there's one coming up that I left you hanging on. Take Care of My Cat. I like the yellow and black. I like the coloring of this DVD. This is a DVD. Region 2. I think it's a UK release with English subs. You got Bae Do-na is like the lead, or one of the leads in this. We all know her, right? Take Care of My Cat is the story of 5 female friends who leave school full of hope. In the port town of Incheon, a hotbed of family problems and vandalism. Although initially only interested in makeup, mobile phones, clothes, and boys, they soon start to get jobs and drift apart. So this is kind of like coming-of-age drama, and it's really good. It's a really good film. If you have any interest in Korean cinema from like the turn of the century, like the early 2000s, this is pretty much a must-watch. Very good movie, nicely acted. And this release, I don't even know who released this. It says Blue Bell Films, who I'm not even familiar with, but this is the DVD. Yes, I recommend it. And the other Korean release is like the big one, the big Blu-ray release in recent memory. And I think Huss from A Touch of Film did a few videos on this. And that is My Dear Desperado. And this is the Bud Blue release, and I think they're out of Australia. I think they've only released a few Korean films. Like, they did the definitive release of A Bittersweet Life a few years ago, which I showcased. I think I showcased it not too long ago in an update vid. And that was, like, by far the definitive release of that. And this will be the definitive release of this as well. I have a separate review of this movie on my channel. And this stars Jung Yoo-mi, who, again, one of my favorite Korean actresses. And then the lead actor, whose name escapes me, is also actually very good in this. I like the coloring of this as well. You get like the kind of like a greenish tint. And this movie, it's kind of like it's a down-to-earth romance drama is really what it kind of is. And it touches on some social commentary on certain topics like the workforce and things like that. And it has just a genuinely like good story to it with good characters. You know, it seems like some of the marketing material makes it seem like a wacky comedy, but it is not. There's humor in it for sure, but it's kind of peppered in. You know, it doesn't dominate the film or overtake it. And yeah, it's very good. Very, very good. These releases are pretty... I mean, these Bud Blue releases are pretty tricked out. They're pretty tricked out. This photo makes me laugh. Every time when I open it up, I don't know. She's just so endearing and sweet, you know. and then you got this guy acting all suave. You know, he's the reason why there's conflict in the film is because he's a gangster and he's kind of, I don't know, losing his effectiveness in the gangster ranks, which is causing him frustration. While the lady is, you know, trying to make ends work, looking for a job and progressing in her career, and that's what's frustrating her. So, yeah, good flick. I recommend it. My Dear Desperado. Look how thick this is. Bud Blue don't mess around, man. And here are a few Japanese releases that came out like last year. Like a year ago, maybe even more than a year ago. And I did buy them when they came out, but again, I'm so far behind in these updates. This one I never thought would get a release, and I say that a lot nowadays, which is a good thing. The Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch. I think this is from the 60s. I covered this in my Asian horror playlist, I'm pretty sure, like 6 years ago. I think I did. So when it got a release, I was stoked. I also have a separate review of this that I did last year if you want more details. But this is like old school black and white spooky family horror for the whole family. There's a few dicey moments in there, but I mean, come on. Kids can handle it. They can handle this. What do you get when Noriaki Yuasa, director of the much beloved Gamera films from the 60s, makes a monochrome film adaptation of the works of horror manga pioneer Kazuo Umezu? The answer is 1968's The Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch. A young girl named Sayuri is reunited with her estranged family after years in an orphanage, but trouble lurks within the walls of the large family home. Her mother's kind of an amnesiac, her sister is sullen, and it's all connected to the father's work studying venomous snakes. And there's some things going on in the house, a mysterious figure. Now this is the Arrow release, so it's the Region B Arrow release, of course. And you get a brand new commentary from David Kalat, a newly filmed interview with the scholar Zach Davison, theatrical trailer, image gallery, reversible sleeve. So yeah, this is a good flick. It's really entertaining. It gets a little wild, but this is one of those Japanese horror films that really nice to see it get additional exposure because it's not something people think of when they think of Japanese horror. You know what I mean? And I do recommend this. Check out my non-spoiler review for additional info. Cool flick. I like the cover art too. Alright, we got a DVD release. Didn't have a choice. I think it only got released on DVD, and that is Mimicry Freaks. This is one of the cooler, low-budget Japanese horror films of recent memory. I think this is a 2009 film. Of course, I did a review of it on my channel, because when I find a good, solid, recent Asian horror film, I almost always do a separate review of it. And this film is actually surprisingly good. It's a low budget, but it's creative, it's gory, a little disturbing, and psychological, kind of all at the same time. One morning, a man wakes up in bed deep within a forest, when suddenly he's attacked by a Japanese traditional warrior known as the Namahage, which I think might actually be technically a yokai apparition. And then it gets it gets crazy. It gets kind of crazy. So if you're interested in like the lower budget Japanese horror films that have come out all throughout history, really, they've always had a very thriving kind of lower budget horror. Although horror in general is really kind of a lower budget in a lot of cases genre. But yeah, I very much recommend this if you're into want to keep up with Japanese horror and some of the titles that actually have been released in recent years. You should watch it. But it gets kind of weird and violent. Alright, this is the one I was holding out on you. And I kind of feel bad. For this release. This is an older DVD release. This is older. I don't know how long this has been around. It's a Third Window Films release. Region 2. See how many Region 2, Region B DVDs and Blu-rays I pick up? I mean, you gotta, I'm just telling you. But this is Serpent's Path and Eyes of the Spider. Alright, now these are two Kiyoshi Kurosawa films from the 90s, I believe, or early 2000s. And we need more releases of Kiyoshi's stuff from that era, because he did a bunch of collaborations with Sho Aikawa, and Sho, I think, is in these as well. He did 10 films with Sho Aikawa that are gangster flicks, and I think we got releases of 2 of them out of the 10. The other 2 were called The Revenge Part 1 and 2, and then the other 6 were the Suit Yourself or Shoot Yourself films, which were gangster comedies, which were really cool. We need a box set of those. That would be sweet if somebody released those. But yeah, this is kind of the part of Kiyoshi Kurosawa's career that kind of goes really under the radar. And I like both of these, and I appreciate both of these films. When Oddball Auteur, Kiyoshi Kurosawa received an offer to make 2 films in 2 weeks. I did not know this. I didn't even read the back of this. 2 films in 2 weeks on a low budget and using the same cast. The result was the cinematic equivalent of Fraternal Twins. Both Eyes of the Spider and Serpent's Path are gangster films about the desire for revenge. I did not know he shot these this fast, and that makes them even more impressive. So Eyes of the Spider concerns Nijima, played by Sho Aikawa, a white-collar worker who one day finds the man responsible for his young daughter's brutal assault and murder. So, yeah, very good film, kind of dramatically intense. And then Serpent's Path tells the tale of Miyashita, played by Teruyuki Kagawa, who you will recognize if you look him up, a former low-level Yakuza who has tracked down his child's killer with the help of his friend Nijima. So yeah, these are 2 good quality flicks. Lower budget, but they're nicely acted. They have some intensity to them and dramatic chops. So if you want to check out some of Kiyoshi Kurosawa's maybe lesser known stuff from when he was a little bit kind of in the earlier part of his career, these are 2 to check out. Now, the problem is that I looked up just an hour before doing this recording. I was how available is this set? It's got to still be around, right? It's getting harder to find. So maybe you could pick it up on eBay. I saw eBay UK has a few copies, but I don't even think you could get this on Amazon US anymore, or even the Third Window's website. It's out of print. But, if you could check it out, if you're interested in this director and you want some of his lower budget, older work, check those out. Another big Arrow release, Region B, Irezumi. Alright, Irezumi. I have a review of this on my channel. This is an old school flick from early 70s, I think. Early 70s. It's a Yasuo Matsumoto film, and I'm a fan of him as a director. Now, Matsumoto's muse, Ayako Wakao, stars as Otsuya, the daughter of a rich merchant who is tempted by her lover, a lowly employee of her father's, to elope. And during their flight, her beauty attracts the gaze of a mysterious master tattooist who sees her pristine white skin as the perfect canvas for his art. This is, check out my review if you want my thoughts. Very high quality film, very cool film, a little bit different. Matsumoto, a very talented director. And he has been getting a lot of releases in recent years, which is nice to see. Special features. Ooh. I don't think there were any special features in the third Windows release of Serpent's Path, Eyes of the Spider. Mimicry Freaks, I don't think has special features either. Irezumi does, though. You get new scan, audio commentary by David Desser, introduction by Tony Raines, a brand new visual essay by Daisuke Miyao, who's an Asian cinema scholar, trailers, image galleries, reversible sleeve. So this is a good release. If you're interested in like classic Japanese film or kind of in the middle of classic and contemporary, check out Irezumi. It's really good. Let's do another one. Let's do another one from my boy Yasuo Matsumoto, and this is arguably his best film. It's either this or Blind Beast, in my opinion. And this is Red Angel. Another Arrow release. This is Region A, though. I got the Region A version of this. This film is great, and I did a review of it. Pretty kind of harrowing war film, but it has, like, it has a few different elements to it. So, Sakura Nishi is dispatched in 1939 to a ramshackle field hospital in the front line of Japan's war with China. And she and her colleagues find themselves fighting a losing battle, tending to the war-wounded and emotionally shell-shocked soldiers who are being assisted by a surgeon. And this film is really good. This is another 60s film, I think, right? Sometimes I forget the year of release on some of these. But the special features on this are an audio commentary by David Desser, introduction by cinema expert Tony Raines, a visual essay, trailers, image gallery, reversible sleeve. So, check this out if you're interested. And check out my review as well. I'll show you the inside of this one. The colors are quite different. Only got a few left. This is one I was really happy to finally acquire. Now, there was a director who made a handful of films. What's his name? Hitoshi Matsumoto. Alright? Crazy movies. And he only did a few of them. Big Man Japan is one that I reviewed. And this is the other one that I reviewed. That is R100. Very interesting cover art. R100. It's about a guy, he like signs up for this S&M club, but it's like S&M in real life. So what they'll do is they won't tell you when they're coming, and there'll be a girl who shows up when you're walking on the street or having dinner, and she'll show up and abuse you. And this guy signs up for this, and he signs a waiver saying that you do not have to take responsibility for any of your actions. So he wants to get on the wild side, and things get a bit too wild. Like, this club is like not messing around with their dominatrix employees, and that's your premise. And it's like a comedy. It's pretty funny. It gets nuts, and that's all you need to know. This is a Draft House Films Blu-ray Region A. 12-page booklet, theatrical trailer, and a digital download is only, special features you get. And, yeah, there's the inside for it. So you want something a little wacky, a little crazy. I hope this director's other films. We still have, Scabbard Samurai that needs a release. And Symbol isn't... Oh, somebody please release Symbol. That movie's mind-numbingly crazy. We need a Blu-ray of Symbol. Somebody make it happen. And then finally, I don't know why I put this. I was going to do a separate anime video, but I'll give you a taste of one that I got from Masaki Yuasa, one of my favorite anime directors. And this is The Night is Short. Walk On, Girl. This is a film that's like, girl has a night out on the town, and things get crazy. That's the film. That's basically what it is. A group of teens go out for the night on the town, and the girl experiences a series of surreal encounters with the local nightlife, unaware of the romantic longings of senpai. And this is really funny. It's got some really neat little scenes in it and very nicely animated. I had a chance to see this in the freaking cinema, and I passed it up when it came out. It actually was playing in a cinema not far from me, and I saw like it advertised. I didn't know who directed it, and I thought it was just going to be like a Ghibli film, which I like. I like their films, but I don't know. I just wasn't feeling like Ghibli style films. But if I knew it was directed by this guy, I probably would have gone and seen it. Because this guy's a little crazy. This guy isn't Ghibli, in style. But yeah, very, very cool. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, and I strongly recommend this. Did I do a review of this? I don't think I did a review of this on my channel, but I really enjoyed it. And this is a great movie to watch. This interview with the director and trailers are really the only special features, but this is a great movie to watch like at night, because it's like nightlife style film. So I watched this like late at night with like some booze. And it's pretty, you turn all the lights off because the animation's very nice and vibrant. It's cool. It's a good flick. So those are my pickups that I'm showcasing in this video. I got more left from the past like 2 years that I haven't covered yet. So yeah, definitely check out my collabs with Samurai Guy on those kung fu flicks that I talked about early in the video. And if you have any thoughts on these movies, let me know in the comments section. And we'll keep these videos rolling. And as always, folks, I will see you next time.